Before we get into the video, I want to talk about the new build. The biggest change with INFERNUS in this patch is when you max out his Flame Dash, it enables ability charges, which means if we build extra charge, we get 1 extra charge of our Flame Dash. There has been some item changes as well. Infuser doesn't give bonus HP, it gives Spirit Shield instead, and it also lasts for 8 seconds instead of 6, which is insane. You can move while you're in Ethereal Shift, it's way slower, but it allows you to do something like this. So your Flame Dash is still going on while you're in Ethereal Shift. And when you come out of Ethereal Shift, you have 20 Spirit Power, 40% Spirit Resistance, more movement speed for 5 seconds. Which means that when we have Rapid Recharge, we have 3 charges on our Flame Dash when it's maxed out. And we can Flame Dash a lot. You see, it's back up right again. And the charge is recharging super fast. So the whole idea of this build is to play around our Flame Dash in the early mid-game, and then later on pivoting into a normal INFERNUS build. Which is why we still do Toxic Bullets. Our first 6k item is Ricochet. Another item that's really good after Ethereal Shift, if you don't want to do Toxic Bullets just yet, is that you go Ethereal Shift into Debuff Remover. This just ensures that you don't get shut down in the mid-game with your Flame Dash. But that is situational. Otherwise, we just stick to a normal INFERNUS build, and I've been experimenting with this. There's been a lot of INFERNUS players in high Eternus games using the same type of build, and this is just my take on it. No matter what the INFERNUS build we do now, we always max the Flame Dash first, and I like to max his Afterburn second, and then his Catalyst third, and finally his ultimate ability. There is scenarios where you can max out his one first after maxing the Flame Dash, but I still think that we need to be shooting and building our burn as normal, which is why maxing his 3 gives a lot of value. In this video, I'll show you a bunch of scenarios from games that I played today, so you can see the build in action and how it works in the different stages of the game. And by the way, I do private coaching in DEADLOCK, so make sure to head on over to my Discord for more information, and let's get right into the video. So in this video, it's actually me playing, and I'll be laning into a Warden. I'll try to give you an idea of how this build works and what I'm thinking throughout the game. Early on, we just play it like any INFERNUS game. We focus on getting the wave down. We start with our 3. If Warden gets too close, we try to burn him wherever we can. But overall, it's a pretty passive playstyle. And the second ability that we unlock is the Flame Dash, and we instantly put 1 extra point in it. The only thing I need to watch out for in this matchup is the Warden Cage and the Flask. Also punches apparently. He just punches me there out of nowhere. But yeah, I'll go Flame Dash. I put 1 point in it. So if I Flame Dash over him, he gets a debuff that reduces his fire rate by 30% for 6 seconds. And when you have 2 points in Flame Dash, you're extremely strong, especially with the changes to Infuser. So the whole idea is to get the burn onto the opponent, and then you Flame Dash around them and basically create a flame arena. We go Ammo Scav early in order to get stacks up, but you can also go Infuser first. Ammo Scav is just such a good item in general. You get so much spirit damage out of it in lane. And also, INFERNUS' spirit scaling is a little bit higher on his 3 now, on his actual burn. So we get a bit more value out of spirit. And now I have 500 souls, and now it's time to get Infuser. And now if Warden wants to fight me, I'll try to apply my burn, and then I'll just Flame Dash around him, pop my Infuser, and it's gonna heal me up a lot. You win most of your trades, and especially when you have 2 points in your Flame Dash. It's fine to play back behind your mini wave if your opponent is getting aggressive. Just try to get the wave as fast as possible, and then look for an opportunity to maybe trade. Here we go, Warden steps up a bit too much. I Flame Dash through him, I pop my Infuser. I chase him. Also staying out of the cage range, and I think this should be a kill. You do so much damage with Ammo Scav stacks and Infuser pop with your Flame Dash. The reason why I parry there is if you climb and somebody punches you, you actually get stunned. I just wanted to make sure that if he tries to punch, I climb a little bit to the side of him and then I parry. The 500 items are very flexible, but I think that you should go Infuser into Ammo Scav into Enduring Spirit. And then you can kind of freestyle it from there with my build. Now we have 2 points in our Flame Dash as well, so if he wants to trade with me, I have insane amounts of damage. You can rush Soul Shredder bullets and skip some 500 items if you want to as well, because it gives you such a big power spike. You get a lot of lifesteal if you shoot the opponent before you engage. And we do get a lot of spirit damage on top of our Ammo Scav stacks. And in this situation, Warden plays too aggressively, he doesn't respect my Flame Dash, and he's just going to take a lot of damage. I want to show you another situation. Here I have Spirit Lifesteal and my Reactive Barrier. I have a lot of early items that are very strong. I have a lot of Lifesteal as well. And as soon as you get the burn on someone, you can just, again, you pop Infuser, you do your Flame Dash, and I did half of his HP there. He does have a bit of regeneration. Bebop comes in. I pop my ult to zone. Reactive Barrier pops there, which means that I survive. And now they don't have any buttons, they don't have any big cooldowns, and I can just push up. Bebop ults me here for some reason, I'm not sure what he's doing. But I can just keep reapplying my burn and he's going to die. And then I can chase the warden down as I have my flame dash again here. There we go. And notice how I have 2 charges on my flame dash now with extra charge. This is what makes us super strong in this patch. So I have it ready, it's off cooldown, Haze ganks, and I get away. Also, if Haze wants to chase, look at that damage in general. I'm healing from it too. Buying a healing right to sustain, and we can move to the next situation here. So with my flame dash maxed out, I want you to pay attention to the situation and just see how I use my flame dash. We have it almost all the time. It's actually insane. The cooldown on it is so short, and when you get rapid recharge, you never have to worry about not having your flame dash. My reactive barrier pops, which means that I survive. I don't take any damage. I keep going after the warden. And if he does jump down, I can flame dash him. If he tries just to run away, I can also flame dash him. He's just dead there. I have my flame dash back up in 5 seconds. Haze can't really fight me either. I don't remember. Oh, so the Haze escaped there. When I was in game, I wasn't sure where the Haze escaped. But we're alive. I have my flame dash still. Life is good. And when you have extra charges in your flame dash, you can get the tier 3 cams super early. It's very easy to farm, as you can just burn, use your entire mag, use your 1, use your flame dash, repeat, and then repeat the process 1 more time. Another thing with extra charge is that it gives you more charges on your 1 as well. So we have 2 abilities with charges in game now. Also, this was my first game with the build, so I don't think that I rush the 3k item. I should be rushing rapid recharge here, but I go ethereal shift. So always make sure that your first 3k item is rapid recharge. I'm pushing the walker here. I hear the Haze, and I can just take the fight if I want to. Pop the burn on Haze, flame dash through her. And there's the flame dash with ethereal shift. It's so insane. The fact that you can flame dash and still get value out of it is just nuts. I think that is a bit too strong. My reactive barrier pops for the Wraith. And I have my flame dash again. I've used it 2 times so far. Get the Wraith, get the Haze, and that's just the power of INFERNUS right now. With rapid recharge, I would have my flame dash available right now. Instead, we have to wait a couple of seconds, which is completely fine. This whole fight is very ambitious, but I'm really trying to just limit us the build. Alright, and here's the second game that I played with this build. I'm laning into a paradox, and I was actually losing the lane here. As you can see, I'm low on gold, I'm pushed back, I can't really do super much. I'm doing my best to just play the lane passively, but I do also try to find an opening with a burn into a flame dash. Paradox is not allowing it, the kinetic carbine is just stunning me, and I can't really do super much. Again, I have to play very far back. But there is one thing that just changes everything here, as you will see very soon. And I wanted to include some examples of me actually losing lane. I haven't really done it super much on this channel, so I think it's good for you all to see. Now I have 2 points in my flame dash, and I know that if Paradox engages me, I can win this fight. 2 points in flame dash is your win condition in lane. Paradox is very pushed up. I go for the burn, and here I go for an all-in. I get swapped, but Paradox is still in my flame dash, and as long as she stays in it, she's just completely dead. You see how much damage that was in such a short amount of time? And that just completely turns the lane in my favor. And here we are a little bit later into the game. I have rapid recharge, which means that I have 4 charges on my 1 and 3 charges on my flame dash. So I basically have my flame dash whenever I need it, and I can do it multiple times in a singular fight. Just quickly grabbing the tower here, trying to force something onto the Wraith. My reactive barrier pops, she TPs away if I remember correctly, and nothing really happens here. But what happens next is going to showcase the power of this build even better. We are in the mid game now. We're about 14 to 15 minutes into the game. I have the core items that make me very strong. Pay attention to how I use my flame dash and how many times I get to use it in this fight. I interrupt Warden's ult there with my ult. He dies. There's more people around. There's 3 or 4 on this row. I think it's 3. And I'm just flame dashing around, just doing as much damage as I can. Look at Wraith's HP. She's super low. Wraith dies. I have my flame dash again. Lash is burning. Just look how often I have my flame dash after I use it. I'm not sure what Valve were thinking, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just making sure to get the burn on my target, and then I'm just flame dashing around them, trying to cover their escape path. Haze dies to my burn. And I choose not to chase the Paradox there because there's no point in chasing her through her wall. Maybe I could have done it with the Flame Dash, but yeah, that's just a crazy sequence. As you can see, I just have my Flame Dash all the time, which is what makes this early and mid game on Infernus so extremely powerful with this build. And you can farm jungle effectively, you can get so many camps in a row, you can rotate between lanes very fast, and Infernus is all about generating as much gold as possible. He is a hard carry at the end of the game, so the more souls you have, the better he gets. And just being able to go between lanes, between camps in such an efficient way is just incredible value. And then I go into Ethereal Shift. And once you get Ethereal Shift, you can go into a debuff remover, as I mentioned before. Debuff remover is such a crazy good item. It basically removes all sorts of debuffs. I mean, into the enemy team here, I guess the new Wraith ult, for example, it slams you into the ground and then you become silenced and disarmed. Debuff remover removes that. I can remove Warden Cage, I can remove Haze Sleep, I can remove Paradox Silence, or if they buy something like a Slowing Hex to counter my Flame Dash, it's also used for that. And then once you have Ethereal Shift, you can go into Toxic Bullets and follow the normal Infernus route, or you can go Ethereal Shift into Debuff Remover into the normal Toxic Bullets route. And there I use Ethereal Shift, and I'm out. We see Haze and Wraith on the edges of the minimap, so I make the call to go for the mid-boss here. And during the mid-boss, Infernus in general is very, very strong because of his ult. I also have Ethereal Shift, so I can Ethereal Shift and ult in case of a Lash coming in. So just even more value with Ethereal Shift with this build. You see, I'm ulting, I pop Shift, Lash does not cancel it, I get the stun, and my Calvin gets the punch and the Rejuvenator. I still have my debuff remover, I can remove the knockdown that they just put on me. And you get the nice thing about debuff remover as well is that you get movement speed and 10% max HP heal if you remove a debuff. So just super nice if they buy active items to shut you down. The only time we can't really use debuff remover is if we get cursed. But they're not gonna have a curse at this point. And this just turns the game. We're about 13,000 souls down. Now we're 3,000 souls down with the mid-boss buff. And as you can see here, I buy Ricochet and I'm basically going with the normal Infernus build. Also around this time, I'm getting more points in my 3, so I'll be focusing a bit more on shooting. But our Flame Dash is still extremely strong. It's such a valuable tool if we can get multiple burns onto people and then Flame Dashing through them. Also, it's super useful as an escape. I use my debuff remover there to remove the knockdown. And now I can just go in. I use my Ethereal Shift to not get shut down even further. And then when I come out of this, I have more movement speed, more spirit power, I have spirit resist, and I can just Flame Dash around and chase people. Get that walker. And I make the call for my team to just continue pushing because we're all alive, we have rejuve, and we can just flip this game around. The goal here is to get the base guardians and 1 shrine, and possibly dropping the patron as well. I mean, we are in a 6v3, especially if we can catch someone, then it's the freest patron in the world. But I do remember me making this call here to just go in, get the shrine. I think I called for the 2nd shrine and the patron now too, and then an exit. I think it's important to just try to keep everyone on the same page. I mean, obviously not everybody's going to listen, but if you just try to make the calls, if you can get 2 or 3 people to follow, that's more than enough. We get the patron and we're out. I actually get swapped, but I have reactive barrier and debuff remover, so I can remove the silence. I actually get blown up by Lash. Lash is crazy in this patch, but we can talk about that later. This is a bit later into the game, and notice how I bought my tier 2 boots. It's because I felt like I was getting slowed a lot in the game. So that's something you can build later on. I noticed that my Vindicta is getting chased by Raid, so I use my Flame Dashes to get there faster, and then we're just on the hunt for Raid. Our goal here is to essentially just to find a pick and then to convert that into something that can end the game for us. Raid dies, and now we're in a 6v5. We don't have the rejuve anymore, but that's also completely fine. There's a knockdown. I use debuff remover to remove it. Also heals me. Kelvin is getting owned, but I'm calling for my team to join here because they used all cooldowns here. I use Ethereal Shift to cancel Lash ult for myself. And this fight is actually going to turn into something very positive for us here. So I'm burning everyone because I have Ricochet. And now I'm just flame dashing around, causing chaos and doing a lot of damage in the fight. In general, this is such a strong fight for us. We stalled them, or Kelvin stalled them long enough with the bubble. And now we can just chase. I kill Viscous, and we have 2 waves pushing in. I'm pinging, as you can see. I'm spamming the waves, and I'm telling my teammates if they kill Lash, we can just end the game through one of these waves here. But yeah, that's going to be the game here. If you search for Noisy in the browser, you can find my build. And hopefully you found some value. I haven't done a video like this in a while, and I really wanted to get an Infernus video with the new build out as soon as possible, because the patch hit yesterday, and I think that there's a lot of potential in this build. Like I said, there's a lot of Infernus players in high Eternus games trying this out, and I had pretty good success with this build today, so I felt like I just had to share. Just insane. And I'll show the post-game screen here too. So here's the post-game screen for this one. You can see that I'm topping the damage. It's in a mid-ascendant lobby on a secondary account that I have, but I wanted to theorycraft and just see how this build actually works. And here you can see the damage dealt. So the majority comes from the flame dash, and later on is gun damage and the afterburn. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the video. I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye.